largely avoided the conservative media during her failed presidential campaign, but she just went on conservative radio to open up about what happened and took some new shots at President Trump.
I don't have any personal stake in this presidency. I have a citizen stake. I am, as you might guess, very much worried by the actions and rhetoric of our current president. I've been very disappointed in the way that he has conducted himself.
She went on to suggest to Hugh Hewitt that racism in America has become more politically acceptable in the Trump era.
I think there has proven to be more white supremacists and white nationalists than I wish there were in our country, as we saw tragically in Charlottesville and other places. And they have made common cause with the president's agenda out of their own mouth that he is someone that they are counting on to promote it.
All right, Greg, it's your lucky day. We start another show with Hillary Clinton.
I can't get enough of her. Also, I love how conservative radio used to go after liberals. Not anymore. You notice that?
Well, they don't go on.
They don't.
They actually don't go on.
Yeah.
That's what made this news. For her to go on with Hugh Hewitt is outstanding.
But you know what? It's identity-driven politics that were helped created by her cynical campaign that led to a lot of this divisiveness. But she's swimming in what's called the big pool fallacy. Trump will have some creepy fans because when you have a lot of fans, some of them are bound to be creepy. The bigger the pool, the more likely there might be a creep in that pool. However, you have to be cognizant if you're the lifeguard. Should you say something? And I think one of the flaws with Donald Trump, it's a salesman's flaw. You never want to turn down a sale. It's actually not a moral choice. It's not a correct choice, but it's a part of thinking that like the money's green, so you never turn down a sale. You never know. You never condemn anyone until somebody else comes along. So there's a glimmer of truth here. But the other issue here is that the Democrats have a problem. You remember how they made Al Gore the president of global warming because they couldn't make him president, so they gave him something to keep him busy. They gave him a cause so he couldn't hurt anybody. They got to make her president of something like the Angry Book Club so that she goes off and does some stuff. Or she could be Bill Clinton's own defense attorney when those cases come up. She could actually interrogate Juanita Broaddrick. Well, how good would that be?
If they hadn't had to close the Clinton Global Initiative, she could be doing that. But, of course, that's not available to her. Did you try to get Hillary Clinton on your radio show?
No, not that I know of.
Yeah, because you just know she's not coming on.
Well, I didn't think she was going to come on. I know we're asking on Fox and Friends on a regular basis. It never happened. And she had no interest when she was trying to be president of the United States of coming on. And it's the biggest mistake that both Al Gore, John Kerry, who came on as Secretary of State, and Hillary Clinton did make. Because if you come on, and Juan, as you know, if you want to use some of your best segments were on with people, and this show in particular, would disagree with you. Absolutely. Because you win people over, and some you don't, but at least you go in there and you're going to get your hands dirty. And she, in this interview, said, Uranium One, that's still going on, and still everyone proved it didn't exist. Well, there's a problem with that. That story's moving. And he goes, the problem with my emails, they made it the #1 story. It shouldn't have been. Well, the problem is there was a lot there, but you didn't go in and attack it. You know what she did? And admitted it in this interview. I didn't even listen, nor did her staff. How do you know how to fight an uphill battle or win over independents if you don't know what the other side's even doing?
Well, I think this is a real shortcoming for Democrats. I mean, imagine the kind of flack I get being on Fox. But they don't have... That's true, too. But they don't have a sense of the ability to come here and use this as a forum to influence people. So I think that's why it's great that she went on Hugh Hewitt's show. And I think that it's very important that you have sufficient respect for people, even if you disagree with them, to talk with them.
Well, and also because people do... I would love to have her on the Daily Briefing, in case you're watching, Hillary. But if you come on a place where you aren't necessarily going to be guaranteed a warm reception, and you're pleasant and you try to make a couple of good points, that the viewer will say, well, that was good. Like, that was nice. She was kind. She was fine, whatever. And unless it's a total train wreck.
No, and I mean, appreciate the upside there. If you believe in yourself and you're confident in what you have to offer, that you're a great candidate, that you have ideas that are compelling, that would resonate with the American people, then why wouldn't you take a chance and get in the ring and go into a forum where you might be able to reach some of those crossover or swing voters or people independents that might say, you know what, I think I feel more certain going with somebody like her. It could happen. The point is she didn't take that chance. And you would think, Brian, to your point, that other people made this same mistake, that they would learn. How many high-paid consultants and experts does it take to figure it out when you have eyeballs in the reach of a network like the Fox News Channel and FBN? Why wouldn't you take that opportunity? I don't get it.
The one thing that really drives me crazy is if, and this would be true if a conservative went on MSNBC and then complained during the interview, like, well, I know what network I'm on. She did that a few years ago, and I've never forgotten it.
But I don't get that.
She used to go on when she was going against President Obama, and one of the things in the break she said is, thank God for Fox, because we were the only one asking President Obama when he was Senator Obama legitimate questions, and we allowed, and it was one of the most interesting races that I can remember.
Well, she hated Obama.
Yeah.
She hated him.
Well, I don't know about that, but she did. Remember, she was his rival for the nomination.
And then Bill hates him, too.
Right, but I will say that what you got is a situation where she said, this week that when Bill Clinton was running, if there had been a Fox News, that he wouldn't have been able to win because Fox News is so partisan. And I think I've heard from Obama the same thing, that Fox News just pillories him, just attacks him and stops him.
He won, though, twice.
Well, no, I'm talking about the legislative agenda. That Fox News just makes him into this ogre, right? But at the same time, the reality is if you're not talking to people, this goes back to your business about the salesman, then you're not selling. You're not out there making the pitch. They may feel unfairly attacked, but then show some gall. Show up.
She did make a comment about President Obama. In fact, could we play that one here?
It is true that when you run to succeed a two-term president of your own party, you have a historical headwind blowing against you. And I refer to that in the book because it's not just this campaign can be set apart from everything that's ever happened in our politics. It is a challenge.
Do you know what the problem is with this?
What?
Permission to speak, Dana. I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead. Free fall. This is a free for all.
He says it's hard. She says it's hard to run as an agent of change when you come following someone like President Obama from your party. You know what you have to do? You have to say, I like President Obama, but this is what I would have done differently. I would have ran the economy differently. I was a little concerned about the regulation. I would have said, when it comes to Syria, I would have done something different. In fact, I have a memo here that says, on this date, I recommended we start a bombing. It would have prevented the Russians from coming in.
She did that in 2008 when she had to distance herself from Bill Clinton. And also, McCain had to separate from George W. Bush. That always happens. So what do you think will happen next time? Because the Democrats, they still have her out there wanting to create a legacy.
They got to get her out. They got to send her somewhere. Too bad they got to send her.
Did you see that in the interview she said no one that is thinking about running in 2020 has reached out to her for advice?
I know, and also she also said that she doesn't think she could be friends with Donald Trump anymore. I guess she didn't mind his behavior when he was a Democrat or on the correct side of politics,
giving her money,
like her husband, who I think she could be friends with, or Harvey Feinstein. Sorry, not Firestein. Weinstein.
Yeah.
She could be friends with him, and she could be friends on a far lesser extent with Al Franken, who, by the way, no one has yet to follow up on. Go on YouTube and Google Al Franken, Howard Stern, 1999. Please.
Oh, yeah.
They did with Trump. They were all over the Trump stuff.
Go to Trump.
There is an interview there waiting to be discovered.
But see the difference? They did it with President Trump. They're all over, but they're not doing it with Al Franken.
This one has a victim that's no one's...
Well, let's go back for a second to Hillary's interview with Hugh Hewitt. Because I think there are two things that were interesting to me. One is she says, guess what? The child health care insurance program, that Trump is just letting it, Trump is just letting it linger and die. And it's going to die.
But the Congress is supposed to take that up before December.
But he, as the president, has some authority here, some voice. And he has said nothing in support of a program that will lead people, as she said, kids with diabetes and other illnesses to suffer. I think that's wrong. Second thing, Trump this very day retweets something that says Hillary is a corrupt blank. What is wrong with him?
No, that's actually, that's what he does. We've accepted this. What about Paul Manafort's house arrest?
That's what I wanted to get to. We only have a minute left.
Well, I'll say it real quick. He's under house arrest, which, by the way, everybody should want to be under house arrest, an excuse not to go to somebody's piano recital.
It's your dream.
And also,
it's your dream.
But the real punishment is he's not allowed to drink during it. Right.
No, well, I don't know if he's not allowed to. No, I think that's that because he's getting a limited release from house arrest to travel on the condition
he doesn't drink.
That he doesn't drink.
Wow. Forget it. I'll take house arrest.
Can he smoke?
Can he smoke? I might take up smoking if I had to do that.
No,
No, not you.
Wow, what a role model you
Absolutely
are.
not.
You are such a role
I'm not
model.
going to be
Take
in
it-
your house or
Dana
Take
Perino
it back.
disgusts me.
Take it back.
All right.
Oh
You
my
shouldn't say
God.
what she was smoking. It could be some kind of like herbal cigarettes, cloves.
Oh,
even.
no, cloves.
Right.
Those were big back in the day.